Hi, welcome to GHSTV. I'm Carlito, and today we have a show heavy on the arts and entertainment. Do you know what Coffeehouse is? Alexis, Kaylee, and Cameron visited Madame's French class to find out. Then we have a triple feature movie review with Gabe, Jackie, and Jordan. And speaking of movies, we'll also find out what AV Club does during meetings and hear about the upcoming film fest. After that, we'll get an update on Green Wave Sports. Stay tuned. This is GHSTV.
First of all, it's a talent show. Where everyone in the school, if they wanted to, can come up and show what makes them unique and great.
Yeah. And the name Coffeehouse comes from a typical French tradition of taking it slow and enjoying, food and drink, typically coffee and snacks, and enjoying music in the cafes of Paris. So that is kind of why it's associated with French Club. So it's a little bit more of like an intimate event, right? It takes place in the auditorium, but what does the event look like, guys? Do we all sit in the chairs in the audience?
Oh yeah. We set up tables and chairs on the stage, and there's a cute little banner, and it's all lit pretty, and it looks nice.
Yeah, little string lights, and it's very cozy. It's got a very cozy feel to it. So
you can draw on
show,
the tables.
Community events. Good vibes overall.
Food.
Coffee.
There's coffee there.
Coffee and food.
There's always coffee. That's what makes it Coffeehouse.
You can see certain people's talents that you had no idea that they had. Like last Coffeehouse where Zach was swinging the lights around. That was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyone else?
We might see some improv comedy.
What do you like to do in your spare time, John? I like to get married to my mom.
Yeah, Coffeehouse is not just singing and playing instruments. There is dancing, there is comedy, there is acting, there is all sorts of any kind of performance art that you can imagine.
Sometimes there's reading storybooks.
Yeah, reading storybooks, yes. There's any sort of performance art that you can think of has been or will be done at Coffeehouse at some point.
The closeness of it, I feel, is in many ways what makes it great. It's that the tables are set up on the stage and only feet away from the performers, and it just the laid back atmosphere allows it to be
Very unique.
right.
Yeah, and going off of that very laid-back, kind of intimate, comfortable atmosphere, Coffeehouse, it's a talent show, but you don't have to be a professional to perform at Coffeehouse. If you are just, hey, I've never done this before and I want to try it out, it's a very welcoming, supportive audience. And so we really encourage you to sign up for Coffeehouse. If you're even thinking about performing, we would love to have you there. And we'll give you a thunderous applause at the end.
The Greenfield varsity track team has had 3 track meets so far this season, all which went well, but there's more games to come, so we wish the best of the luck to the team. The first track meet was on April 8th against Frontier, and Greenfield did well in that game, but Frontier came on top with a score of 87 points, while Greenfield only had 60. After that, our second track meet was on April 15th against Tech with a crazy score of 119 points for Greenfield and only 23 points for Tech. Our latest track game was on April 28th against Mohawk Trail Regional High School, and Greenfield has won again with a score of 107 and a score of 37 for Mohawk. Leavview has been doing really well in track recently, breaking 2 school records. The first one being the high jump of 6'10", and the second being the 110 hurdles with a time of 15.3 seconds. There are more track meets coming up and more room for improvement. We wish the best of the luck for the track team season.
Hiya, folks. My name is Gabe Toomey, and I am back with a new movie review. The movie today is Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore. The movie was good. I would give it an 8 out of 10 star rating. I liked the acting, visual effects, production designs, parts of the musical score, and the connection towards the Harry Potter movies. Though I feel like the Fantastic Beasts movies don't match the expectations of the Harry Potter movies. The film features returning cast members from the previous 2 movies, including Eddie Redmayne, Ezra Miller, Dan Fogler, Colm Turner, and Catherine Waterston, as well as Jude Law, playing a younger version of Albus Dumbledore. The villain is still Gellert Grindelwald, but he's now being played by Mads Mikkelsen, replacing former actor Johnny Depp. It's directed by 4-time Harry Potter director David Yates, who directed the previous 2 as well, and written by Harry Potter creator J.K. Rowling and Harry Potter screenplay writer Steve Kloves. Originally, this one was supposed to be the last of the Fantastic Beasts movies, but in 2016, it was revealed that there would be a total of 5 movies. As of February this year, Wizarding World producer David Heyman has said that script work for the 4th movie hasn't begun yet, and in April, Warner Brothers Studios said that greenlighting the 4th movie would depend on how successful this one is. So I think you should ready your wands and see this movie if you like Harry Potter, the Wizarding World, or magic in general. And now, on to Jackie with a classic movie review.
The Karate Kid, let's talk about it. Made in 1984, the main character, Daniel, moves to Southern California with his mother, Lucille. He finds himself the target of a group of bullies who study karate at the Cobra Kai dojo. Fortunately, Daniel befriends Mr. Miyagi, an unassuming repairman who just happens to be a martial arts master himself. Miyagi takes Daniel under his wing, training him in a more compassionate form of karate and preparing him to compete against the brutal Cobra Kai. I suggest watching this old film because it gives you a sense of power and a feeling in your gut you may not get with any other film. After watching this film, I promise you'll feel a little bit braver and maybe even more confident. As Miyagi once said, if it comes from inside you, it's always right.
The movie Sonic the Hedgehog 2 was a good movie because of all the action. They had Knuckles and Tails. Tails is smart, a good inventor, and he had 2 tails. Knuckles is really strong. He's an echidna, and he's a good fighter. There was a team up with someone working for the villain in the movie.
Hello. We are going to show you a game that you might have heard of. This game is called Final Fantasy VII. This game was made by Square Enix. This game is beautiful, yet complicated. So first, we're going to start by going over the backstory of some of the characters. The first characters we're going to be talking about is Cloud Strife. Cloud is a mercenary and a member of the resistance group Avalanche, who are in a fight against Shinra Electric Company. His main enemy is Sephiroth, and his primary weapon is the massive hunk of metal known as the Buster Sword. It's around 6 feet tall and 2 feet wide. Aerith Gainsborough, she is a friend of Cloud. She is also the last of her race and also helps Avalanche to pursue Sephiroth. She was also originally Sephiroth's sister and Cloud's ex-lover. At the end, Cloud floats Aerith down the river because Sephiroth killed her. Bareth Wallace is the leader of Avalanche, where they blow up the Mako reactor that the Shinra had made. He goes on and helps you win the battle against Sephiroth. Tifa Lockhart is the main love for Cloud other than Aerith. She is a skilled fighter who had recruited Cloud to join Avalanche. She runs a bar in the slums. Last but not least, Sephiroth is the main bad guy. He was the head soldier I messed up at the end.
What is AV Club? I have to think about that. Do we have an AV Club? Okay. AV Club stands for Audiovisual Club. It is a place for people that love all things music, movie, video related to come and share about the things that they're into. And at some point we make some things and you can have like a whole group of interested people that you can talk about it with. Mostly we sit around and complain about the state of the world. We have really good solutions if only people would implement them. But we mostly share about like things we're getting into lately and projects we might be working on. Sometimes we make things in person together too. We also help put on the Film Fest each year, which is coming up, which is very exciting. Hopefully somebody submits films at some point. I think we have a pretty good program so far, but need a few more to push it over the edge. And the Film Fest itself is on Friday, May 20th, so keep your calendars clear. If they are interested in joining AV Club, we meet almost every Thursday afternoon in my classroom down here, the film room, 1076, next to the music room, next to the Forbidden Hallway, which is slightly less forbidden this year. But don't email me to ask if you can come, just show up. That's great. And that's about it. Yeah.
Thanks for watching GHSTV. Stay tuned for the next episode.